there, my magical star beings. This is Psychic Siren Tarot, your favorite tarot reader, and welcome to the channel. In today's reading, we're going to be taking a look at what do people find memorable about your personality. I'll try to be as accurate as I can, but it is a bit tricky when reading for the collective. If you want something more personal, you can always check in with a psychic for a more in-depth description. Speaking of which, I tried a clairvoyant from Psychic Source, and yes, they're sponsoring today's video. Thank you, Psychic Source. I got matched with a clairvoyant through their site, and honestly, I wasn't expecting her to be that accurate. I gave her no personal info, just asked about my future love life, and somehow she instantly picked up that I'm already in a relationship. She literally said, "Why are you asking about the future without mentioning him?" I was literally speechless, but then I remembered that's kind of what I do too. Still a shocking experience to be on the receiving end of it. She described my future partner as someone who makes me really happy, with great communication and bond that can handle anything. But the part that really stuck with me, she said she saw my future husband giving me purple flowers. A few weeks later, nothing happened, so I kind of forgot about it. Then we saw a tattoo promo on Instagram. My boyfriend sent me his ideas so I can book, and boom, a purple flower. Not a bouquet, but I'm definitely taking that as a sign. You can chat with gifted advisors however you're most comfortable. Phone, video, or even text. Setting up my account on their website was super easy, and they have this quick little quiz that helps you find a psychic based on what you're looking for, whether it's love, past lives, energy readings, whatever. It made the whole process really personal and intentional. What sets them apart is the level of care and integrity. Only 2% of their applicants actually become advisors, so you know you're speaking to someone who's truly gifted and held to high ethical standards. And they back everything up with a no-risk guarantee. If you're not happy with your last paid reading, it's free. For a limited time, you can use my code Siren at psychicsource.com when checking out, or you can just click the link in my description box below at trypsychicsource.com/siren. You'll get up to 40 minutes with an advisor for just $19.80. That's up to a $240 value. You don't have to use it all in one session. You can spread those minutes out across multiple advisors to see who you truly resonate with. They also donate 1% of your purchase to charity at no extra cost to you. Oh, and yes, I do get paid for this promo, so when you sign up with Psychic Source, you're feeding a perpetually hungry, slightly dramatic psychic, that would be me, and funding my next impulsive crystal purchase. As you can see, the channel needs some new crystals, but that's all for now. Thank you again to Psychic Source for sponsoring today's video. So getting back to your pile selection, for pile number 1 we have Fluorite with the 6 of Pentacles. Then for pile 2 we have Citrine with the 10 of Cups. And for pile 3 we have Blue Lace Agate with the Ace of Cups reversed. So take a look at the piles we have here, see which one you're most drawn to, and you can pick your pile based off that, or you can pick your pile based off zodiac signs as per the thumbnail. So I'm going to give you a few seconds to pick a pile. So once you're done picking a pile, please find the timestamps for your pile in the description box below, then I'll see you at your reading. Hi pile 1, if you chose the Fluorite crystal and the 6 of Pentacles, then this is your reading. We're going to be taking a look at what do people find memorable about your personality. Please be aware that this is a general reading, only take what resonates, leave the rest. So spirit guides of pile number 1, please tap me into their energy and what people find memorable about them. Please show me, what do people find memorable about their personality? What do people find memorable about my pile 1's personality? So we have the 4 of Cups. We have the 4 of Pentacles reverse. And we have the 8 of Wands reverse. So the interesting thing here is we have double 4 and 8 and 8 if you add 4 and 4. So 4 in numerology represents a practical, hardworking, and disciplined individual who values stability, security, and integrity. You are basically a builder, highly organized, and a logical problem solver who is seen as dependable and loyal. But you can be rigid, stubborn, or overly critical. And that's according to Google. And then the number 8 in numerology represents wealth, powerful leadership, authority, cosmic balance between the spiritual and material worlds. People who are connected to this number are often intelligent, ambitious, diligent, and known for achieving significant success through hard work and determination. But there is a continuous loop of a cycle of giving and receiving, and you possibly have this energy of being a magnet for abundance with a strong drive for success with a deeper spiritual purpose. So when I take all those meanings together with the cards we have here, what people find memorable about your personality is that you are reflective, contemplative, and you're always striving for more. You are someone that prefers balanced or equal relationships where the give and take is kind of like equal or balanced in some way. You don't like connections that are imbalanced where one person's giving more than the other, or imbalanced in terms of power. What people find memorable about you is you want to save and you want to better yourself financially, but you also aren't too restrictive with your spending habits. You kind of try to have balance there because you do tend to get bored easily. And when you're too restrictive with yourself, it's like you tend to go back to habits that maybe aren't the best for you. So when you strive for balance and kind of like doing everything with limitations, still allowing yourself to do fun or good, nice things that you want to do, with a limitation, it kind of allows you to still enjoy that freedom without restricting yourself too much and then going into those bad habits or whatever too much, if that makes sense, as a result of it. It's like, let's say I'm trying to eat healthy and I'm restricting myself too much, and then I go and binge eat a bunch of food. But let's say I'm just like, okay, I can eat sweets, but only this amount today. Then it's kind of like I'm not restricting myself. That's an example I could use. Or let's say it's your spending habits. Let's say you're trying to save a certain amount, but you're so restrictive with yourself, and then you end up going on a shopping spree even though you shouldn't. It's kind of like you allow yourself to spend a little bit amount each day. You budget for fun and other things so that you're not bored, so that you're not restricted, while still building towards security and not neglecting your finances. You may have not always had this balance with the Temperance card showing up reverse at the back of the deck. In fact, I'm hearing you may have neglected these areas of life previously, but it seems like now you're trying to find that balance with the Six of Pentacles. People thought that you may have been a little bit self-destructive before, but you reflected on your behavior and you grew from that. And people see you kind of like outgrowing bad habits, coping mechanisms that just don't serve you anymore. It's kind of like you're leaving behind parts of yourself that maybe aren't helping you move further in life anymore. And it's kind of like you're just growing as a person, becoming a better version of yourself. You're really focused and disciplined too, and that's what people find memorable about you. And when you're focused on a task, you kind of slow down and you make sure you do it properly. People may even see you as a little bit perfectionistic, but you make sure you get everything done properly the first time, and you don't like to be rushed through tasks because, like I said, you want to do it properly. I see that a lot of people watch this pile. You're very interesting to others, and so people tend to kind of look at you on your journey and see what you're doing out of curiosity. And they like to see what you're building for yourself and how you grow over time. Another thing I see is that you're just this very relaxed, go with the flow type of person that people find memorable. Even when other people are kind of like stressed out, you kind of just find a way to almost stay calm, keep yourself soothed in some way, even when you go through stressful situations. It doesn't show on your face at all. In fact, you seem like super calm. So I don't know if you're like anxious on the inside and you seem calm on the outside, or if you just know how to calm yourself down in stressful situations, but that is what's coming through. So we have the Death card showing up reverse, the Seven of Wands showing up reverse, then the Poet reverse. So what I'm actually seeing right now is a spider in my mind's eye. And spiders represent creativity, so a lot of you could be creative people. The Artist card also wanted to come out, so I'll take that as confirmation. Spiders also create their own web, so they can be symbolic for manifestation. I also saw the Magician card wanted to come out, so another confirmation. So perhaps you are working on manifesting your dream life, even if you don't use the specific word manifesting, and if other people don't think of it in that way, you're kind of creating your dream life, taking action towards it, but also reframing your mindset so that you are able to receive it, so that you are in a higher vibration, where you're able to receive that manifestation because you believe you're worthy of it. So according to Google, spiders also represent patience, precision, and the ability to manifest. And they also symbolize balance, intuition, and the intricate connection between fate and free will. So perhaps you are, embodying those qualities right now, and perhaps you're kind of taking charge of your own life. With the Chariot showing up reversed at the back of the deck, this is like becoming in control of our life. Not letting life pass us by anymore. Taking our fate into our own hands. I'm seeing that Britney Spears, I think it was a video I saw on Instagram. I don't know if it was an ad or what, but she kind of like, I don't know if it was in a music video, I don't know. But she kind of like went to this fortune teller or psychic, and then she was going to receive a reading from her, but then she was like, something along the lines of, I control my own destiny, or something like that. I don't know exactly. But I'm seeing that scene in my mind's eye, which is making me think that you're not just letting life pass you by. You're creating your own fate, your own reality. And you're not letting anything else determine your future based on what anybody else has to say. And the thing is, even if a psychic predicts a future, we can always change that future outcome, unless that future outcome is like set in stone. But usually you can change the outcome in the future. You can like maneuver through it based on changing your actions. So that's just the way I see it as a psychic. But anyways, there's something here about you using your free will wisely. And there's something about you letting your guard down when it comes to relationships. So you've dealt with pretty untrustworthy people in the past. People that weren't truthful, that kind of sold you dreams, and used pretty words to kind of hide their true intentions, I want to say. You know, those kind of people that are like so charismatic, they always say the right things, but then there's no like truth or substance to it. It's just words. It doesn't mean anything. That's what I'm seeing. Maybe you've gone through that for a while, where you struggled to trust people and you almost like doubted yourself because you didn't always know who to trust or who not to trust. But lately you seem to be opening yourself up to people again, kind of letting yourself meet new people. And it's not like you're being naive and trusting them too quickly, but you're kind of letting your guard down little by little. Of course, if you see red flags with them, then you do, move mindfully accordingly, but you're kind of just trying to trust people more. And something about that is memorable. Something about you going from being untrusting of people to opening up is memorable. Now, with the Death card reverse, there was something you were struggling to change or end in your life. For a lot of you, this could be bad habits. This could be old versions of ourselves that we struggle to almost like cut off. It's like you were trying to transform something within you or something within your life, but it was just so hard to change that. But you have been like still not giving up. You still are transforming in some way. You're still growing. And even if you haven't fully changed this yet, you are making progress is what I see. And that is memorable to people because it shows that even when something is difficult to change, we don't have to give up just because it's difficult to change. We just have to see the progress we're making. And that's the most important thing here. I also feel like some of you had this problem in the past where you struggle to feel gratitude for what you have. And now you're kind of changing that energy around and you're trying to be more grateful. You're trying to think more positively, change around your mindsets, and something about that is memorable. The fact that you're changing and growing, changing your mindset too. The Five of Wands reverse, the Nine of Swords reverse, and the Eight of Swords reverse. So you're kind of getting unstuck in a way with the Eight of Swords reverse. Finding freedom and liberation where you were previously stuck. And you're not letting your past situations determine your future. So wherever you were stuck before, I see you kind of like trying to get out of that place. And maybe you tried like 5-6 times before you finally find a way out. And the fact that, again, like you didn't give up, even though it was difficult, the fact that you still found a way out of that place of stuckness, or that you are doing that right now, is memorable to others. The fact that you're just liberating yourself from this. I feel like now you see people for who they are, not for who they tell you they are. You see who they are by their actions, by how they're acting in general, not by just their words. Because people can say a bunch of things, but it doesn't mean they're always genuine or that they mean it or that they're truthful. So something about that's coming through, something about not ignoring red flags anymore, while still learning to be more trusting of others. There could be this fear of losing money that you're trying to work through, or fear of success that you're working through at the moment. And you're also trying to work through a fear of abandonment, I hear, and a fear of like letting people in, or fear of like people hurting you, betraying your trust, lying to you. Something about that is coming through. So I guess all this that I'm talking about, like about you working on yourself and changing things about yourself, this could just point towards you being a very self-aware person, you being aware of what you need to work on. And maybe that's what people find memorable about your personality. The fact that you don't let flaws or weaknesses of yours or even fears of yours get in your way of like growing as a person. And self-reflecting and just becoming a better version of yourself. Something about that is coming through in a very like not extreme way, but it's kind of being repeated over and over again. I also see this energy of cooperation. You knowing how to cooperate with people and compromise with people, especially in moments of conflict. You're someone that tries to make both parties happy. So there's some kind of negotiation here. I don't know if this is within business, within your personal relationships, but what I can tell you about what I see here is that you almost like try to look at the problem when two people are having a conflict, whether it's you or somebody else, and you try to look at like what both parties want, what they're fighting for, and you try to give that to both parties so that both parties are happy. So something about that is coming through, knowing how to either mediate or kind of like stop arguments and make both parties happy. So we have the 10 of Pentacles. I hear good communicator, and I also hear the word release. The fact that you're so comfortable with releasing things, places, people, memories, belief pattern, thought patterns, whatever it is, the fact that you're able to release things from your life and not hold too much attachment to it is the most impeccable thing ever. People just admire that about you. Oh, I don't know if I said this is a 2 of Wands. I think I said 2 of Pentacles reversed by, or not reversed, but 2 of Pentacles by mistake. I'm not sure. The Star reverse. Then we have Kali with the Tower reverse. And one more card, we have the 7 of Swords reverse. So the 7 of Swords reverse can relate to us being like suspicious of other people's motives and intentions. That's confirmation of what we spoke about earlier. But I did say that you are working on that and you are healing from that with a star, even though it's maybe like difficult to heal, especially if it's so ingrained in you where you've experienced it so much in your life. You know, it's hard to heal something you've experienced so many times. You know what I mean? So if you do resonate with that, the fact that you are healing, the fact that you are looking within, even though it happened to you so many times, the fact that you're not staying in like a victim mentality and you're actually working on yourself and growing, people really respect that. I don't know what personality trait that would be called, but that's what I see here. There's also something about trying to make everybody happy that people find memorable. And you are more solution focused than problem focused with the Tower reverse. You're looking to rebuild after challenge rather than complain about things falling apart. And although it's been hard for you to transform, you are still doing it. Imagine like a snake trying to shed its skin and it's struggling to do it, but it still does it at the end of the day. That's kind of the vibe I see. There's something about your perfume smell or your scent that's memorable. I know that's not a personality trait, but I'm smelling a very nice smelling perfume. And people associate that smell or scent with you. So every time they smell a similar scent, they kind of associate it with you in their mind. And I also see this energy of like making choices that lead to our abundance, that lead to us just moving up the ladder in our careers. There's also something about your sweetness that's memorable to others and how free you are. But you're also captivating in a way. There's also something about your story that's interesting to people, or the stories that you tell. Maybe you're just a good storyteller and people remember those things. So that is all I have for you, Pal 1. I do hope this reading resonated with you. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. If you want to see more readings, then you can sign up to my membership. And I can't wait to see you next time. Thank you for watching. Hi, Pal 2. If you chose the Citrine crystal and the 10 of Cups card, then this is your reading. We're going to be taking a look at what do people find memorable about your personality. Please be aware that this is a general reading. Only take what resonates, leave the rest. I'm going to go ahead and shuffle your cards now. So the one thing people remember about you is that you're community focused. Like you're focused on building community around you. You're possibly also someone that's very helpful and giving, and you just want to help a person when you see that they have a lot on their plate or a lot to do. So you always offer that kind of help. There's also something about you being very considerate, you knowing how to understand others, even if they're very different from you, even if they've experienced very different life circumstances, different personality traits. You just know how to get along with almost like anybody and understand almost anybody, even if they're very different from you. We have the Three of Cups reverse. We have the Suzerainer with the King of Cups. Then we have the Five of Cups. So you have just cup cards. Maybe there's a lot of water signs watching this pile. Pisces, Cancer, Scorpio, but it doesn't have to be. This could also point towards you just being a very emotional person, very emotionally expressive too. But with the King of Cups being in the middle of the spread here, it's kind of like you know how to stay emotionally balanced and stable, even though your emotions are intense, even though you can get hurt easily with the Five of Cups here. I was hearing the name Angie, Angelique, Angelina, something along the lines for someone here. I don't think that will resonate with everybody, of course. I also see something here about loyalty, about protecting your loved ones and protecting the underdog. So let's say you see somebody being bullied or you see something unfair happening, you kind of like stand up for what is right and you protect the person that maybe can't stand up for themselves or something. Something about that's coming through here. However, because you are so helpful, you may sometimes get swept up in other people's problems. And that's another thing people find memorable about you, but it's kind of like they wish they could tell you that you don't have to make everybody's problems your own, because sometimes you get entangled in their mess or drama or whatever they're going through in their life because you just want to help. So there can be like a martyr energy that shows up here with this pile. Though I do also see confidence, your capabilities, and your determination that people find memorable. Now we have the Page of Swords showing up reverse with the Pilgrim. We have the Ten of Wands showing up reverse. And we have the Three of Pentacles showing up reverse. So perhaps you're someone that works better alone. Yes, you are trying to create community, but maybe you like to kind of work on your own more. Maybe that's a preference of yours. Or I could read this as when people struggle to work together, maybe you're that bridge that kind of helps them get along more or helps them work together more. Take whatever resonates more with you. There's also something about a lot being on your plate. And you're always constantly helping others, but people kind of don't really see other people doing the same for you. And so there's this energy of like outside people watching you kind of carry everything for everybody else, but not seeing them do the same for you in return. And them kind of think in their mind, like, what is wrong with that person? Not you, but like the people that aren't helping you the same way you're helping them. Like, what is wrong with that person? They can see pile number 2 struggling. They can see that this person has a lot on their plate. When they have a lot on their plate, pile 2 is the first person to offer to help. But when pile 2 is under stress, nobody seems to be doing anything. And it frustrates the people watching. So something about that is showing through in a memorable way, but in a more negative way where it's like a negative memorable thing where they remember that, okay, maybe if you help people, not everybody's going to help you, but then they kind of want to be the exception for you and help you because they see that not many people are. Does that make sense? And then maybe they remember the times that you did help them and they want to do that for you too. You tend to get overwhelmed very easily, but you won't admit defeat even when you are overwhelmed. There may be a need to prioritize things here or delegate tasks or even ask for help. Maybe you're considered someone that's hyper independent, someone that values their own freedom. You don't like to be tied down and your freedom taken away in relationships. So, like, you value mutual trust where a person just allows you to live your life because you need your independence as well. You need your freedom as well. And sometimes you need space to just do your own thing. You could possibly be memorable for the fact that you have a lot of knowledge and wisdom, but you don't shove it down people's throats. When people want to ask for advice or ask for your perspective on something, then they can get that wisdom or knowledge, but you're not necessarily like shoving it in people's faces, being like, look at me, I'm so smart. But you kind of show your intelligence through the way you deal with things in life, if that makes sense. It's kind of like the proof is right there. You don't have to tell everybody you're smart. Does that make sense? But I do also see something about like constantly involving yourself in other people's lives, and that may come from good intentions, but it may tire you out. So something about that is showing through here. You may have also had like a lot of unsupportive fake people in your life that just aren't giving you the same in return. So like one-sided connections with people that are fake and not genuine. So 10 of Pentacles, we have the 2 of Pentacles. That may have disappointed you a lot with the 5 of Cups. We also have the 10 of Swords reverse. So I see someone with many, many goals. And it's kind of like you try to shoot 2 birds with 1 stone. You try to like get as much done as possible in like a short period of time at the same time. Perhaps you're good at multitasking. There's just something here about like having your focus on many different things at once and kind of trying to accomplish it all at the same time. People look at you and they wonder how you do it, how you have that strength, that determination, the focus, and the kind of strength to just not only continue going even when you're overwhelmed, but carry and juggle it all. Because it seems like you have a lot of responsibilities or a lot on your plate, like I said before, but it seems like you're not falling out of balance. You're not falling over and making mistakes. It's like you keep it all under control somehow, some way, and people wonder how you do it. You could possibly be someone with a very busy life too, or a very busy schedule. And something about your ambition, your ability to not give up, your ability to keep things balanced and even keep your emotions balanced while you're doing all of this is highly impressive to others. I feel like people just see you as resilient, but again, there's also this energy of like being so protective over your loved ones, especially your family. Like nobody can talk about your family negatively because they must watch out. That's all I'll say with the energy I'm seeing. There's just this very protective energy that people find memorable. And respect for your family as well. Maybe you're very family orientated. We have the 6 of Cups. We have the Dreamer reverse with the Knight of Cups reverse. And we have the Quasar with the Knight of Swords, I think. Just trying to see spirals. I think this is the Knight of Wands, sorry. Okay, so I'm seeing this energy of you not really being so attached to your past. It's kind of like you're present in this moment right now. You're not living in the past. You're not focused on the past. You're not focused on what happened in the past. You're focused on now. That's the energy I'm getting. You're not even attached to people from your past. Like, you may not even talk about them or think about them. You're kind of just living your life in the present. Something about that is memorable. Something about your detachment from people from your past is memorable. The fact that you're not even focusing on like people that have done you wrong or people that have kind of like been a villain in your story. You're just not focused on that. You don't care about it. Doesn't affect you anymore. In fact, you're more so focused on your ambitions and the things you want to accomplish and where you're headed towards than on the past. And you know that if somebody wronged you in the past, they're probably going to destroy their own life and shoot themselves in the foot. You don't have to do it for them. You don't have to get revenge or, do anything, because they're probably going to ruin their own life anyway. And if you're just living your life, having a happy life, that's the best revenge ever. So something about that showing through here. The tiger symbolism showed up twice. So I know that the tiger symbolism represents strength, but also someone being quite like street smart. Let me see what else it means on Google. So yeah, power, strength, courage, and protection. In Asian cultures, it represents fierce independence, royalty, and wealth, and this is seen as a protector in both life and the afterlife. So you may be sort of like a guide or protector to others, like your higher self. The tiger also embodies a duality of primal energy and disciplined action, symbolized focused intention, strategic planning, and the powerful impact of a well-used voice. So you may embody this energy. Okay, so let's pull some more cards. Something about always being happy for others, other people's wins and successes, as well as your own, like being genuinely proud of yourself. You don't need to brag about it or show it off, but you're proud of yourself and you're not going to shy away from admitting that just to seem humble. We have the Weaver with the Queen of Swords and the Artist with the Queen of Pentacles. So a lot of you could be creatively inclined, specifically like art, painting, drawing, stitching clothes or materials or something. Something about your creative work is memorable to others if you are creative. And this doesn't just have to be painting. It could be the way you do your hair, the way you dress, the way you just express yourself. I know that's not a part of your personality, but maybe just your creative expression being the personality trait they remember. You always try to be a positive influence in other people's lives and bring hope and positivity and light back into their life. Something about that is memorable. You possibly say things as it is. You're very practical yet reserved. But again, you come across as someone with a lot of wisdom, and that is very memorable to others. There's something about your flexibility and adaptability in terms of your personality being memorable, unless you're physically flexible. But I'm seeing this energy of like adapting to situations or changes very easily. You know when to be serious and rigid as well, and strong with your boundaries and assertive too. But you also know when to loosen up and not take things so seriously. So you kind of like know the time and the place of like how to act in those situations, if that makes sense. You're possibly also someone with like a high emotional intelligence where you understand what reactions are appropriate in which moments. So let's say someone had to give you different examples of situations of when it's okay to react like this. Maybe in this situation 2 and 4, it's okay to react like this. But maybe in situation 1 and 3, maybe you shouldn't react like this. There's something about like some kind of ability to know when it's appropriate to react in what way. So that is what I see here. There's also something about your taste in music, food, art, movies, series that people find interesting and memorable. Like, let's say you recommend a book to someone, for example, and they actually read it and they find that so memorable. Something about that is coming through. That is all I have for you, pile 2. I really hope this reading resonated with you. If you want to see more videos of mine, you can join my members. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I can't wait to see you next time. Hi pile 3, if you chose the Blue Lace Agate Hard Crystal with the Ace of Cups reversed, then this is your reading. We're going to be taking a look at what do people find memorable about your personality. So please be aware that this is a general reading, only take what resonates, leave the rest. I'm going to go ahead and shuffle your cards. So spirit guides of pile number 3, please tap me into their energy and please show me what do people find memorable about pile 3's personality. What do people find memorable about pile 3's personality? So the first thing I'm seeing is confidence, you having this appreciation for beauty. Not only like wanting to make yourself beautiful, but wanting to make the world around you beautiful too, whether it's your environment, your home, etc. There's just something about like knowing how to make things beautiful, or how to bring out the beauty in people physically. Like maybe you're good at giving makeovers, giving fashion advice. There's just some kind of knowledge regarding that that's coming through here. And I'm also seeing like Aphrodite's energy, as well as Bastet. I don't know if I'm saying her name correctly. There's also something about you having like a lot of understanding for others' emotions. You could be considered an empath. I don't know if you consider yourself an empath. The Four of Wands reversed. There's just something about like random people coming up to you and telling you their life story, telling you about their problems, their emotions, and you're just so understanding. You're a good listener. And even when you don't know the person, it's kind of like you still show some sign of compassion and empathy, even if you aren't like fully involving yourself in their thing. It's kind of like you'll still listen and show them some sign of compassion. Then we have Phoenix with Judgment reverse. And we have Ravens with the Magician. Okay, so I'm seeing something about a tough exterior but soft interior. So you could be like this tough cookie on the outside, or like present yourself that way in personality, but inside you're really a softie at heart. You could come across as detached at first, and that's something people find memorable, yet you still know how to kind of like maneuver through your emotions without getting too entangled into it, or like too entangled in other people's things. Like even if you are considering yourself an empath, maybe you just try to not let other people's emotions affect yours, or other people's things affect you, because like you still know how to show empathy but not take on their problem or take on their emotion, if that makes sense. So something about that is coming through here. You're also very observant and a good judge of character. I feel like you're able to tell when somebody is lying or when they're hiding something. I don't know if you've recently seen those memes. I think it's Dexter, I'm not really sure, where he's kind of like looking at the person suspiciously, watching their every move. I'm sure a lot of you have seen that meme recently that people are using a lot, but I'm literally seeing that in my mind's eye, which is making me think that you can just read people and read between the lines, and you can tell when somebody's just not being truthful or hiding something. When I look at this Ace of Cups card, I almost feel like twirling around like a princess. I don't know why, but there's like this soft feminine energy, elegant energy with you, especially if you're a woman. If you're a man, maybe you know how to sort of be soft but tough at the same time. like I said, you have this tough exterior, but I feel like you also have that softness to you, and you have like this whimsical nature about you. I don't know how to quite explain that, but that's the feeling I'm getting. I'm also getting that some of you are very intuitive and you know how to read people's auras or energy. And you also know how to see who people truly are through looking in their eyes. Like, you know how they say the eyes are the window to the soul? I feel like you guys are able to look at a person's eyes and tell what kind of person they are. We have the Eight of Swords reverse, the Companion reverse with the King of Wands reverse, and we have the Poet with the King of Swords reverse. Okay. There's something about like being compassionate, non-judgmental, but still knowing when to call things out for what it is. You could also possibly be someone that isn't really looking to settle down right now. You're kind of, if you are single, you're kind of enjoying your single years, not looking to rush into a relationship. The right person will find you when it's the right time, and you're not looking to force anything there. If you're in a relationship, perhaps you're kind of like taking it slow with this person, not rushing into commitment or anything serious yet, kind of taking it slow. Or maybe some of you like don't want to get married or anything like that, so something about that is memorable. And I also see this energy of like not needing love, not needing a companion. You're okay on your own. Like, even if you go through a breakup or whatever, you're okay on your own. You're not going to be defeated by that. Again, there's this energy of like knowing how to detach yourself from people and not get too swept up in your emotions where you almost like make that person your whole world. You still have an attachment to the person, but you're not so attached to the point where you can't breathe if they leave you, you know? Where you can't live your life if they leave you. There's some type of independence and this feeling of, you know, if I'm alone, I'm okay. I still enjoy my own presence that you have that people find memorable. You possibly also don't fall for words, you fall for actions. And like, you know when somebody is going to be a good boyfriend or girlfriend and when they're not. And you just don't waste your time settling for somebody that you know isn't a good companion in the first place. Because, like I said, you already enjoy your own alone time. You're not so worried about being alone that you're just going to settle for anybody. That is what I see that people find memorable. People see you as someone that's talented, and something about your talented nature is memorable. People remember the things you're good at. People also remember the fact that when you're in some kind of relationship and things are just not working out, you just exit gracefully. You don't like try to force things to work with that person. Something about that is memorable too. You're also very unique and different from most people, and something about that is memorable. You don't have like one deceptive bone in your body. That's also what's coming through. We have the Six of Wands showing up reverse. You have confidence, but you don't have pride or ego. And it's like you don't allow your head to get big. Like you still know how to have confidence without it getting to your head. We have the Two of Cups. And the Knight of Cups reverse with the Dreamer. As well as the Two of Wands. So you are a romantic person, but you don't see things with rose-colored glasses. I don't know why this theme of like relationships is coming up so strongly, but it is in your reading. So maybe something about the way you deal with relationships is the most memorable thing coming through right now in your reading. And the thing is, like, if you can already see you're not on the same page as another person and you're not like headed in the right direction together, you're not even going to entertain it or try to make it work, because you can just see this is not going to work. You're not going to force it to try make it work and see. You know what I mean? Like, you know what you want and you know what you don't want, and you're not going to entertain what you don't want. There's also something about you looking for somebody that can be loyal to you, can be devoted to you, can have pure intentions towards you, and just love you the way they're supposed to, where it's an equal partnership, right? Again, you're not looking at situations with rose-colored glasses, but you're looking for someone that's able to build a partnership with you, a life with you. And you possibly have a requirement or a checklist you look for in lovers, I mean, where if they don't match up to your standards or what you want, you're just not going to entertain it. One example I see here is that they have to be loyal, that they have to almost like want to build with you, that they also have to have their own career or their own form of success. Maybe you're looking for someone financially stable, someone with plans, someone with ambitions. Okay, we have the Death card showing up reverse with the World and Psyche. So both of these cards talk about endings and transformations, as well as letting go. And this World card looks like it's depicting different seasons, with like the sun and the dark here, how like the seasons are always changing. It's always changing from night to day. So this is making me think, like how I said before, you don't get stuck on one thing. Like if something changes in your relationship with somebody, you allow it to change. If something changes in your own life, you allow it to change. You don't get stuck on how it was before. If something ends, you allow it to end. Even if it's hard to like let it go, you still remain like somewhat detached in a way. Like you don't get too attached to the point where you're not able to deal with that change or that ending. So something about that is coming through. It's kind of like you've accepted change and endings. You know that change and endings are a natural part of life, and it's like you don't get stuck on that. I also feel like this is my pile of alchemists, healers. You take bad situations and you transform it into something positive and empowering for yourself. You've maybe taken unlucky situations and turned it into luck. There's just something about alchemizing and being a healer. So we have the 10 of Wands reverse. Then we have the 7 of Cups reverse. I'm seeing teacher energy, so perhaps you're a good teacher. Perhaps you know how to like show other people how to do certain things or teach information to other people. Like maybe you're very good at explaining things to people that don't understand that topic or subject, or training someone to do something. Perhaps you have leadership qualities or abilities that people find memorable. I also see this energy of you possibly being a good mentor or manager or something like that. Like you know how to delegate tasks really well. You know how to see through problems. Where everybody else is stressed out, overwhelmed, like almost going into overthinking mode, not knowing what to do because the problem seems so big or the situation seems so dire. You're kind of like, okay, you do this, you do this, you do this. And you kind of don't allow yourself to get swept up in that. You kind of see through the problem, and it's almost like you help people get focused again and help them see that there's no need to worry about this. Like, if this person takes care of this and this person takes care of this, everything will be sorted and fine. There's something about like knowing how to make people not stressed anymore, worried anymore, and just how to get them focused on moving forward and just not letting it get to them in some way. You're firm with your words. You know how to kind of be assertive and how to get people to respect you. But you're also understanding of others. Like, you give people grace and understanding. You know when to give tough love, but you also know when to be soft with people. And something about that is memorable to others. The fact that you know when it's time to do this and when it's time to do this. So that is all I'm seeing for you, Pal 3. I really hope this reading resonated with you. If you'd like to see more of my videos, you can check out my membership. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I can't wait to see you next time.